Alysha. I'm a certified birth doula in the St. Louis area, and today I just wanted to show you what all is in my doula bag. We're actually going to start with the back. So the first thing is I have a little digital thermometer for the bath. It's really important for when a laboring woman is using the tub. It needs to be below 100 degrees. So usually I aim for like about 98, 99. So that's a comfortable temperature for her, but it's still safe and won't overheat her. And then back here I have labor combs. So I've got a few different ones for women to try, but essentially you're just going to place it in your hand, and as soon as the contraction starts, you start squeezing it just as hard as you can. And the idea is that your brain will focus on this uncomfortable sensation, and it will not focus as much on the uncomfortable sensation in your uterus. So I have a few different ones. I like these ones because they have wrist straps. So I've got some massage oil. This is just unscented fractionated coconut oil. Most women like it. And then these are just batteries. The AA's are for my twinkle lights. So because they run for a long time usually. I usually hang them up in the bathroom, and I like to hang them like kind of through the shower curtain. It makes a really pretty effect. So, but then I usually just leave them on for all of labor. So I end up having to change the batteries pretty frequently. And then I've got these like watch batteries are for my LED candles. All right, now let's get into the bigger part of the bag. With what's in here. So this is a TENS unit. So it just looks like this. So when you turn it on, it has lots of different settings that you can use, and you can control the intensity of it. So when you hook up these leads to these little pads, each client gets their own. So each little packet looks like this, and it's sealed at the top. So you just connect these leads into those. Most women like to put these on their back, like 4 points on your back. Next, I have my affirmation cards. During my birth planning process, I give them a list of these affirmations and ask them to pick a few of their favorites. So that way I can hang them up around their labor room. This is a pair of knee pads, number 1. I use these for in the water, so because they are a lot more waterproof than my other ones. And then these are knee pads number 2. So these are the nicer ones. They're super cushiony. Knee pads are just probably one of the most used things out of my doula bag because their knees do not need to hurt in addition to labor. So next up, I've got a heating pad, just a kind of standard size heating pad. Here I have 2 covers, so I always wash them. This is great for putting on a woman's back during labor. Your back is just often a little achy during labor. And so this feels good on the back, and then warmth is just very comforting. This is a massage tool. It's for putting like on the lower back. And if someone is liking having pressure put on their lower back, I can often try this too, because it gives a little bit of different sensation. Same thing with tennis balls. So just roll it around on their lower back. Yoga blocks. Usually in the hospital, the toilets are taller, so your feet don't really touch the ground all the way. So I see most women are like up on their toes. I like to bring the yoga block in, and I'll just set it on the floor, have them plant 1 foot on the yoga block, and then that way they can plant their other foot all the way on the ground. So it makes it a little more comfortable. It gives a little bit of unevenness to the hips, which is great for just helping the pelvis open a little bit. Next up, for our mood lighting, LED candles. Like the whole thing lights up and then they flicker a little bit like real candles. So these are amazing for ambiance. So these are the ones I usually scatter these around the room. I have 2 different sets of twinkle lights. So this is my longer set. So this is the one I usually string through the shower curtain in the bathroom for gentle ambiance. Next up is my fan. So this is battery powered and it is rechargeable. It's also the brightest LED light you've ever seen. So that one is marked with an X because when it's dim in a room and I've got this fan on a woman, I absolutely do not want to hit the extremely bright light that would then be shining in her face. So, but these stroller fans are great because they've got the adjustable legs, so you can make it into like a little stand, so it'll stand up by itself. Or you can use these to like wrap it around a hospital bed post to just have a little bit of a refreshing breeze. So especially nice during pushing. The other thing I do for when a woman's starting to feel overheated, so whether while pushing or maybe in the tub or shower, you can go get an ice bucket. So hospitals, they always have like buckets around. So I just fill that up with ice and then put water in it and then have several washcloths in there. So we can just always have a cold washcloth to put on the back of your neck, on your forehead, and that feels amazing. So next up is my Rebozo. It's a handy tool that can be used in lots of different ways. Long and woven. This one's handmade in Mexico. There's different things that you can do with it. One of the most common things that I do with it is I will tie a knot in one end like this and then throw it over the bathroom door in the hospital and then shut the door. So then this is gonna stay. And then you've got something to hang on to. So it can be really helpful in labor to like do positions where you have your arms over your head. So you can do that either standing or on a birth ball. And just then you can just kind of like hold on to it and sway through the contractions. And that motion kind of helps bring the baby into the pelvis. So, but there's tons of other things you can use this for. Counter pressure by wrapping it around the hips. You can use it for pushing. So it's a great tool to have. So most random thing that you will find in my doula bag is but they're just a pair of really old flip-flops. Sometimes when you're in a hospital shower, you might want to bring the birth ball in to sit on while you're in the shower. When you're sitting on the birth ball in the shower, it blocks the drain. And one time I literally, as a very, very early in my doula career, I literally flooded a labor room. Like we blocked the drain, the water came under the door and like the whole room was like covered in water. So the point of the flip-flops is you can put one on each side of the drain, balance the birth ball on top of them, and then that way water can still get to the drain. And I have an air pump with this. So if you have a birth ball or a peanut ball, this is what takes off the plug. And then this is a pump for that. All the hospitals in my area, they all provide peanut balls and birth balls. However, if it is not inflated to the right amount for you, ask them to find a pump is hard and nobody will be able to find it. So I just keep a pump in my bag and it's been very helpful. Bluetooth speaker. So again, during my birth planning process with my clients, I ask them to pick from a list of like white noise, ambient sounds, soft music. So I have that on their birth plan, what they want. So that way, if I just feel the room is just a little too quiet for comfort, I will turn on the speaker and play one of those. So, and this is waterproof and rechargeable. And so that way it can be like, I can put it on a shelf in the shower and not worry about it getting. And then last but not least, I have this rolling pin. So this is like from way back in the day, Pampered Chef. You can't buy these new anymore. I had to like buy it on eBay. So, but you can take this off and you can fill this with ice water. This can be really helpful when a woman's having like severe back labor. Of course, we're always going to try to use spinning babies to help the baby turn and no longer have back labor. But when that back labor is persistent, we can fill this up like with the hospital ice in here as full as I can, and then I put water in it, and then we roll it on her lower back like this. So and you can get a fair amount of pressure, and then the cold feels nice. I do have my very heavy backpack. This is mostly just stuff for me. So I do have a folder that has my clients' birth plans in it. So I always bring a copy of their birth plan with me. And then the rest of this is like, I've got snacks, I've got like Cliff Bars, honey sticks, applesauce pouches, cashews. And then I also in here, I have like stuff to freshen up. So I always bring like a toothbrush, makeup wipes, that deodorant, that kind of thing, because sometimes you're at a birth for a really long time and it can feel amazing to brush your teeth. And I also have like a sleeping mask and a neck pillow for those longer births where we do get a chance to sleep. Got like breath mints, pens, chargers, and then an extra set of clothes for me. You know, if I get really wet or something, I do have a change of clothes in here. So that's what's in my doula bag. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Did that record the whole thing, I hope?
Yeah.
Okay, you can stop.